What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a review for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Reunion Part 3. So this is the final part of the reunion, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and just jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and aren't subscribed yet, you guys do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me a favor by liking the video, giving me a big thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys, and also giving me that big thumbs up. So with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Part 3, shall we? All right, you guys, so this reunion, like I said, this is part 3 of the reunion. So we start up and we just have a little small talk, really and truly. We talk about Sutton's dating life and we talk about Erica's dating life, right? Why do I care about Erica's dating life? Why do I care about Sutton's dating life? I don't. Erica's talking about, she had sex before the reunion. You know, I didn't want to come in here all stressed out. So yeah, definitely had it. And so Andy says, do you have a team of guys? You have to have a roster. And I just love the fact that, you know, they can just stay hard and keep going. So is that a shot towards your ex? Well, not even your ex-husband. Your husband, that your husband couldn't keep his dick up? Oh, God. Girl, I could never, I don't know how y'all women do it. Especially with older men when they, oh, come on, get back daddy some loving. Sir, it's just swinging. If I was a woman, I could never get married to, if I were a woman, I would want to marry a man in my age bracket. So that way, when we get old, we're around the same age, and when the sex drive goes down, it's down for both of us. Ooh. Jesus. So next up, we talk about Erica's behavior this entire season and how deplorable it's been, right? So Erica says, you know, looking back on it, she was like, who is that? And she says that, you know, everything that she was doing was basically her numbing the pain, you know, with everything that she went through last season and last year, right? So then Garcelle, we talk about, you know, Andy asked Garcelle, when did she really notice an issue with Erica and her, you know, pills and the drinking? She says it was really with the Jack situation, and Garcelle says she didn't realize how bad that situation was until she actually watched it on television, right? So then she asked Erica, like, Erica, why did you go after Jax? Why not go after, I mean, you could have said something to Mo, PK, anybody, any adult, but you said something to Jax. So Erica says that she didn't single him out, right? And that, you know, she was just being drunk and stupid. So then Andy brings up the fact of Kyle, Dorit, PK, and Mo when they were laughing about her, you know, her cursing him out, right? So Kyle says that she was mortified, right? And so Garcelle says, okay, so why did you think that it was so funny? She says, honestly, I don't know. But she apologizes to her, right? Dorit over here, she's looking dumbfounded. And she said, and then Garcelle says, Dorit, you didn't even say anything to Erica. Oh, I did. I said, he's getting it for his mama. And that's all, but that's all you said. You didn't say Erica. Like, chill. Like, the only person who really stepped up and stood in was Crystal, when Crystal said, don't pay her no attention, you know, and took him away. That was the only person in this situation who said something, was Crystal, right? So then Dorit does say that she was shocked and she was disgusted by it, and that later that night that she did have a conversation with Erica, and she told Erica, you know, that she asked her, what the fuck was she doing? That's still not checking Erica. Checking Erica would have been like, Erica, that was foul and fucked up what you did. That is a child. He's done nothing to you. And for you to say, get the fuck out, that was disgusting and despicable. But she didn't do that. See, and I saw last week, I know somebody DM'd me, or somebody DM'd me about what happened at Bravo. Did somebody DM me? Or did somebody leave a comment? I can't remember, but I know somebody brought it to my attention what happened at BravoCon when Erica was asked who does she think the next couple is to divorce, right? And she said PK and Dorit. Now, you guys, let's keep it real. Y'all want to know what I really think about that situation? I think that this is literally just a way for Dorit to have a storyline next season, so that way she can go after Erica. I really think that's all that this is. It's just a way for Dorit to stay on the show, and I really want Dorit gone. But you guys, let's pause here and let's move forward. So next up, Andy talks about how the fact that Eric was recently cleared in a lawsuit. I don't know which lawsuit I'm wondering if he's talking about the one that she was cleared in on the show, because you guys know that there's another lawsuit that recently came out about Erica. So I don't know. It's like every time they do clear her of a lawsuit, then there's another one. So while we're talking about that, he says that that's pretty significant for her. She says, yeah, Sutton reached out to her and said, congratulations. And then, Dorit, so we talk about the fact of how Erica was when she was in Aspen, and how flippant she is, how nonchalant she is, right? So Dorit she tried to say something, but Dorit was like, but don't you get it? It's the fact that you say you don't give a fuck. That's the issue. And then she was also talking about if the ladies feel some type of way, that's just basically their problem. I was like, girl, these ladies have been trying to help you, especially your friends. Kyle, I will say the only person of her friend group that's really tried to help her little clique is Kyle. But she felt like, we'll talk about that in just, actually, I think we're getting to that point, right? Yep, we are. The thing that pissed me off with Erica in this particular scene when Dorit told her is the fact that she keeps saying that she doesn't give a fuck, is when she was like, well, if you're in a plane crash, and your oxygen mask, I was like, did she just literally say a plane crash? Girl, that is a terrible analogy when your husband took money from plane crash victims. Now, granted, I know what she meant by the analogy. I know what she meant, and I'm not going to sit here and defend what she said, but I think because it was disgusting, but she could have chosen a different analogy. Because basically what she was trying to say is, she's helping herself so that when you're like, oof, I don't want to use that analogy. She could have come up with anything else. Like, she could have come. So in a sense, what she was trying to say is, it still sounds a bit selfish, but what she's saying is, let me help myself by if I can help myself, then I can then in turn help you. But okay. So I have to use this analogy because right now I can't think of anything. Jesus, this analogy is just terrible. So when you get on, well, actually it's not a bad analogy for me, it's a bad analogy for her. But like when you get on a plane, right? And they go over the safety protocols with you, right? If there are women or children next to you, you help them, right? Perfect example, the Titanic. On the Titanic, when it was the children and the women first, you do everything you can. You try to help you're trying to take care of yourself, but at the same token, you want to be able to be a first responder for the women and the children. Get them help, right? But you got to make sure that you're still safe enough to help them. That's what I think she wanted. That's what I think she meant. But like I said, she was a terrible fucking analogy, right? So then Andy asked the question, is Erica her own worst enemy? And Kyle says, yes, absolutely, she's her own worst enemy, right? So Erica is upset because she felt like in Aspen that Kyle should have been neutral. But how could Kyle have been neutral when you were being disgusting? You were being an asshole, talking about you don't give a fuck about the victims. Like, the things that she was saying in Aspen to, Crystal were disgusting. And it wasn't just Crystal. It was like Garcelle had mentioned this. Sutton had, like, when it comes to Crystal, I think some of the women feel like Crystal is an easy target and that Crystal won't come back at them. And I think that's why they go at Crystal the way that they go at Crystal. So then Andy's talking to Erica about these earrings, right? And he's asking her, why are you trying to keep these earrings? She says, I turned them over. He says, but you're trying to get them back. She says, we're on appeal for legal reasons. He says, but you're trying to get them back. We're on appeal for legal reasons. He says, but we're saying the same thing. We're not, but we are. We're on appeals for legal reasons. Ooh, ooh. I can't stand her at this point. I can't stand Erica Girardi. So, a viewer wrote in and said that, after, Erica has basically saying Erica put in her dues with Tom, so she deserves those earrings. And so Andy asked the ladies, do you guys agree with that? Would you ladies keep the earrings? Everyone on that stage said, nope, wouldn't keep them. And you got to be real with yourselves. No, I don't want nothing, no. They may cost a pretty penny, but what's more important to you? Some material things that you can't take with you, or your conscience and knowing who you are as a person. If I know that something was ill-gotten, I don't want it. If I know that somebody bought a gift for me and it was purchased with stolen money, and when I say stolen money that came from, the defenseless and the helpless, right? Widows, plane crash victims, children, the deceased, right? If it came by nefarious ways, I don't want anything from it. I'm like, you can take that back, keep it, because that has the devil written all over it. But Erica is the devil, so what can we expect, right? So then Andy asked her, has she had any communication with Tom? And she says yes. Girl, you ain't never stopped having communication with Tom. And he's like, what are the conversations like? Hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, girl, shut up. Ugh. Like, she got on my damn nerves. So you guys, then Andy said, okay, well, we're gonna take a break, right? So Andy said that they're taking a break, right? So she says to Rena, she pointed toward the tissues, right? So then she goes, I was like, wait a minute, because Andy asked her before she started crying, Andy asked her, does she miss her old life? And she says, no, I don't miss it. Girl, a lie don't care who tell it. Look at how you're trying to live vicariously through Diana this entire season. You missed that shit. So let's pause here and let's move on to the grand finale of the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we got Kathy. She's joining the stage, right? So when Kathy joined the stage, baby, if you looked at Rena and Erica's face, Rena and them lips, I was like, Rena, put your lips together, baby. So as soon as Kathy sat down, baby, she took a shot, pop, 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 at Rena, right? Because they were talking about Kathy on social media. And she was like, oh, you know what I do? I just do like what Lisa Rinna do and just delete it. 20 minutes later, me and Garcelle I was dead, right? So we then talk about the tequila situation, right? Remember Aspen when Rena ordered Kendall Jenner's tequila and Kathy was trying to plug her. So Andy had a question from a viewer that was like, what was so bad about Kathy wanting to promote her product when Rena, you promote your lip line, that rosé, everything under the sun. Dorit, Beverly Beach, those ugly ass wedding dresses. Kyle, you promote your store. Asher singing. So what was so bad about Kathy? Do you ladies think that you went too hard on Kathy, right? So Kathy then says to Andy, like, she didn't realize that the cameras had actually gotten her tequila because the camera wasn't centrally focused on her. So then we talk about the fact of Rena ordering Kendall Jenner's tequila, right? So Andy says, so were you upset with Rena? Now, this is where Kathy kind of lost me, right? So Kathy said she wasn't upset with Rena. And then Rena was like, but I promoted her tequila. I held it up at Diana's party, right? So not Kyle, but Kathy was kind of upset with Kyle. And I was kind of confused. I get it, but I don't get it at the same time, right? Because that was Rena. Because Kyle was like, what was I supposed to do? Tell her she can't order that tequila? That was Rena being Rena. So I didn't understand why Kathy was so upset with Kyle. Could Kyle have said, like, really, Rena? Kyle could have said something, right? She definitely could have. She could have said, like, damn, Rena, Kathy wants to promote her stuff. Let's let her promote her stuff. And let's let Kathy have this moment. She could have done that. But I just didn't agree with Kathy, getting upset with Kyle, right? So Kyle starts crying, and at one point, Kathy was like, "Why are you crying? It's nothing. That's not. This is nothing to cry about." I will give Kathy that. When Kyle started crying, I was like, "Girl, what the fuck are you crying about?" Like, it really wasn't that deep for her to start crying, but she started crying, right? So I'm gonna pause here because this next segment is very, very long. So let's pause here, and we're gonna go ahead and just start to wrap this up. All right, you guys. So the next thing we got to talk about is the last night in Aspen, right? So if you guys saw my community tab, I said that we might have some differing opinions when it comes to the last night in Aspen because I'm starting to see some things, you guys. So we talk about the last night in Aspen, right? So Kathy explains what happened. So what the lady said in her interviews was 100% true. So you guys remember they went to that club, right? And remember when Crystal said that she was requesting Michael Jackson and he is problematic, right? So Kathy did say that she did, she went up to the DJ booth and she talked to the DJ and asked the DJ to, could he play a song for her and her friends, right? So then I think she said something about the owner came out and said that, she was like, see, this is where Kathy lost me because I'm like, Kathy, you trying to throw them rich white woman dollars at somebody to do what you want them to do, and they're telling you no, and you getting pissed off, right? So, she said that they take requests other places, right? But if this man told you he doesn't take requests, listen, that's his establishment. He doesn't have to take a request from it. I don't give a damn if you're Kathy Hilton. I don't care if you're Barack Obama. I don't care who you are. You cannot bully people to do what you want them to do because you have a name, you have a big name behind you, because you have money, because you have status. Like, that's the one thing that's why when I think about it, if I want to be rich, I would teach my kids that just because you have money, just because we have money and whatnot, doesn't mean that you're above anybody and doesn't mean that you can make people do what you want them to do just because you have money, right? So the guy told her, she says the guy asked her where was she from. She said LA. He says, well, why don't you go back to LA? Now, if he did say that, that was a little bit rude, but I can honestly get why he said it. Because if you coming at me about what you want me to play, go back to LA and ask them to play what the fuck you want them to play, right? So then Kathy said she went up to Kyle and said, we're going to go. And Kyle was like, no, you came up to me and basically like, we're getting out of here, right? And she says, and I'm not proud of that. So then Erica says that Kathy came up to her and said the DJ was an old effing F word. I'm not going to repeat it, right? So Kathy says that Erica is lying. Erica says she's not lying. And Kathy's like, I have a little bit more credibility than you do. I was like, oh my God. No, she didn't. Kathy came to clear the girls, right? So then Andy tells them that there was an HR investigation and nothing was found, right? So Kathy was like, it's so funny because, they want to put me on blast, but nothing was ever on in the media about Erica walking around with a ring and a bag and a fur that is not hers. Erica says, it is mine. I paid for it. And Kathy says, we all know it's not yours. I was like, oh, Kathy, girl. She was on their necks, right? So then we move over to talk about Renna and what Renna accuses Kathy of saying, right? Kathy says that she was just venting to Renna and that Renna said to her in the car that you're preaching to the choir and she understood it, right? So here's another point where I say we might differ because I actually do believe that Kathy did say some terrible things about the women. I do believe that, you guys. Because if you guys looked at the way Kathy was sitting on that stage and how her face was scrunching up with Renna, I do believe her. And also, I do believe that Kathy may have said some things about Kyle and Crystal. Because Crystal was going to go with them initially, right? Because Crystal called for production to bring the cars around for them, but Crystal couldn't get out because I guess they had coat check at the club, so she had to get her coat. So that's why it was just Renna and Kathy, right? So I do believe part of what Renna is saying, but not everything. I do believe Renna is putting 20 on 10, so I don't believe everything that Renna is saying, but I do believe parts of what Renna is saying about Kathy, right? So, because also Kathy got caught on a lie. And we got to keep it real. Kathy got caught on a lie, right? So the things that Brenna is accusing Kathy of saying, Kathy is saying that she never said it, right? And then Kathy says to Renna, I know that you're having some problems. And Renna was like, what problems am I having? So then Kathy says that, oh, and that text message you're talking about, it's not on my phone. And as much as Erica annoys me, Erica says you could have deleted it. And so Renna showed Andy her text messages, and Andy said, well, they're right here. So I was like, oh, Kathy, so you deleted the text message and you think that somebody like Lisa Renna didn't keep them? Okay, Kathy, right? So then we talk about the fact when Kathy went over to Kyle's house to apologize to her, right? So Kathy is saying that, and I'm glad the production did show this because Kathy is saying that when Kyle told her that Renna was coming, she told her that so she could apologize to her. But Kathy, she told Kyle just said to Renna, not Renna. Kyle said to Kathy that Renna is coming and that if she wants to stay, she can, right? So she chose to stay. So then, where are we at? So Kathy calls out Renna saying you wanted to have that all on camera because your contract was coming up. I was like, no, she didn't. So then also Kathy called out all the problems. She's like, you ran Lisa Vanderpump off the show, and let's not talk about what you did to my sister, right? And then you and Camille, I was like, come on, Kathy. I was here for her being on Renna's neck. Like I was here for that, right? But I will say with Renna was putting 20 on 10 about how scared she was and all. I'm like, Renna, you have, because she was talking about she was screaming at her, and Andy was like, Renna, you've screamed at people. So that's exactly what she said, right? So then at one point, Kyle was talking about, they were talking to Kyle, and, Kyle was like, she wants to leave here in a better space than when she came here with Kathy. And Kathy was like, I don't know. She's like, wait, what are you talking about? So they were talking, right? She's like, why are you upset with me? And Kathy was like, I don't want to talk about it. Now, I will say, though, when you look at Kathy, Kathy does have a bit of a mean streak. Like, let's keep it real. Kathy has a bit of a mean streak. So she didn't want to talk about it. And she was like, you never said anything. You didn't defend me. But Kathy, Kyle did defend you. When Erica said that you said the F word, Kyle definitely chimed in and said, I didn't hear her say that, so I don't know nothing about that. What I will say is, one, Renna needs to stay out their business. Let the sisters handle it. Two, they definitely need therapy. There's something between Kyle, Kim, and Kathy that they need to figure out what the root cause of their sister what's going on between their sisterhood. Because I tweeted last night that with Kyle, Kim, and Kathy, they literally give me a white version of the Braxton family. And we all know that there are some deep issues with those sisters, right? And I mean, when it comes to siblings have spats, right? Because I have 3 brothers and a sister, and my older brother and I, we are not, we haven't talked in almost 10 years right now. But it doesn't mean that I don't love my brother. It just means that we don't see eye to eye right now for different reasons, right? Things have happened and we never talked about them. I don't even know if we ever will, but in relationships with your brothers and your sisters, shit happens. You guys get upset with each other. You guys stop talking to each other. Things happen, right? So I want them to figure out their business, figure out what's going on in their sisterhood. When Dorit tried to chime in, Kyle was like, let me talk to my sister. I was like, ooh, Dorit like, you know what? Okay, I got you. We're just trying to move it on along. She said, I love you, but mind your business. I was here for you guys. And that was really it. Kyle was just upset towards this was the end of the reunion. Kyle, they wanted to do a toast, and Kyle was like, she doesn't really want to do a toast. Like, I hope and pray that they can fix their relationship. I really do. Like, let me know what you guys thought about it. It was a part 3 of the reunion was really good. This whole 3-part reunion was really a great reunion. It was really, really good, you guys. I enjoyed it. So that was the end of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12, you guys. So we'll be back sometime for season 13. So let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to talk about Salt Lake City, because I really don't. Let me know what you guys want. I'll do it. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on Salt Lake City, I'll talk about it. It'll have, God, Salt Lake City. We'll think about it. But let me know what you guys thought about Beverly Hills, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, be blessed. I'll see you guys in the next one.